I'm Hubert Reynolds and I'm from here. I was born in two doors over here. And my father died in 1953, 22nd September 1953. And I was 15 years of age. And with all the people come to the corpus there and that, and I got talking to one of the pilots. Hope the man's happy, Walter Gillespie. And I told him I was looking for a job. And it was 5 days later, he sent word and told me there was one in Derry. So I went to Derry then, and that was on the 29th of September. And joined we were called the Coasters, the band Thorn. That was the 29th of September 1953. And I was there I was in her for 10 months. She was taken to Glasgow then and scrapped. And then I joined another ship, the same company, the band Trader. And I was on her for 26 months. And I left her then, and I went and done my AB's ticket and lifeboat ticket. And I joined another of their ships, the Silverthorn. She was new at that time, a motor vessel, where the rest was all steam. But I was there for a year and left her then, and I went deep sea then with shore travel, Australia, New Zealand. And that's the way I went on from there, and backwards and forwards, and well, there was a lot of ships then from Union Castle, Canard Line, Avenue Steamship Company, and runners from most of the UK to Australia, New Zealand. The Canard then was running to the United States, to the west coast and to the east coast. So I was at that then up to, I come home every year for salmon fish, come home in June and went away again in August. And that's what I was at. I finished up in 1975, I think. Kids were getting up then, so I started then the fishing again.
At the time, that time that you were at sea on the steamships and the coasters, and then on the deep sea, what were you doing? What was your job?
I was a seaman.
What sort of work did that involve?
Just about everything. Maintaining the working gear, like derricks and cranes and various things, and painting, and chipping and repairing. Splicing and what have you not got. Just for complete maintenance, you had to keep everything working like before.
And what was that like at 15, heading out from home for the first time?
It was a bit scary, I suppose, at the first, but I soon got used to it. It wasn't going too far away, only as far as Liverpool and back. We run from Liverpool to mostly to Coleraine and Derry there.
What would you been transporting those?
Mostly coal from Garrison there in the Mersey. And then you'd have spuds and general cargo going to back to Liverpool and from down to Wales there, Swansea and Cardiff.
And then the deep sea work, traveling to New Zealand and the States and Australia.
Yeah.
What sort of cargo would you been transporting there?
Everything. And I mean everything. You'd have heavy lifting work, like trains and carriages and all kinds of things like that, and a lot of farm machinery too. All these things, and mostly it was meat and wool that was coming from Australia and New Zealand at that time.
And going to all these different places, what was that like? Seeing places that most people around here would not have really see about and read about in the cinema or whatever.
Yeah, well, it was very good. They were very nice, particularly in New Zealand. There was a lovely country, and they're very, very nice people. Australia, not so good. More mixed. New Zealand didn't allow any at that time. Immigration was limited, to sort of Irish, Scotch, English. But Australia had everybody in because it was a big country, and so you had all kinds of mixed races
And you never thought of settling in any of those countries?
No, if I did, I'd rather be New Zealand, with the nearest thing to Ireland, the system was nearly all Irish and Scottish in New Zealand.
And your time at sea, was there any particular places that you felt were dangerous, that you didn't want to be in, or situations that were dangerous?
Oh, there was surely. There was in Argentina there, there. You get a boy sitting on the gate, on the dock gate. There's the mariners, they called them. They're only ordinary blokes doing their national service, But they were armed with guns, we'd be sitting there and I'm drunk, and looking for an argument with you, Kids like that, but touch words, we never had any problems with them anyway.
None that you're aware of, anyway.
No, they were. But when you look back on it later, you were really lucky, because plenty of people got shot.
But nobody on the ships you were on?
No, not.
So you left at 15. You were doing sort of the local short hops, and then you went to the deep sea.
Yeah.
And then you came back then. Eventually you finished up at sea and came back here. So from you left at 15 until you came back, how many years would that have been?
Around 35.
And then you came back then, what have you been then? You've been
I was
15?
Yeah.
So what did you do here then?
I was fishing then. I fished in trawlers, and it was in the mackerel boats, or tank boats as they call them.
How long did you do that?
A couple of years. Messing about, but like everything else, the fishing then was as bad as going to sea, because you were a long time away too. You might, if you're lucky, got a weekend at home.
What years? Which one? This has been the 70s?
70s, late 70s, aye. Oh, aye, but again, it's a good job,
And then, when did you finish with the sea?
I finished going to sea, I think it was 75. I was on 2 or 3 coasters, after I quit going to deep sea, and I ended up on one here. A dredger was working at a dairy. I was on her by the time she was here, a couple of months. So I picked it up then altogether,
So, you'd experience as a merchant seaman, but you also had experience in the fishing. Not everybody would have that. Some would either be one or the other, but not always be both.
No. Well, most people about here usually started off in fishing, Then you got a job, and usually through the pilots, or if you knew somebody on ships, when there's a job coming up. So,
So, looking back on your life at sea, what do you think was the most memorable part?
well, I think probably in Australia, New Zealand, and even in the States too, like was in the West Coast of the States was nice too. Los Angeles and San Francisco and around there, like, you know, but New York, it was all,
Some people would think there that, you know, when the people from here who are away from home, working say in the States or working in Australia or whatever, they're gone for a couple of years, they think, you know, they don't think that's a long time or think much of it, but when they hear, you know, like somebody at sea, you know, he's away at sea for a year or 2 years, they think that's an awful long time. But is there a difference between any of those being away?
all there is for on sea, it's a difference because everything's changing all the time. Like, you know, different countries, different and different work, different boats, different ships. Like, what's different where when you're ashore, like you're sort of 95 or whatever the case might be. Like, but when you're at sea, you're on call all the time.
But what's that like? What's that experience like when you're on the ship, you know, for a few months at a time? I mean, you know, when you're not actually working, how do you spend your time, or how did you spend your time?
I had plenty of pastime for darts and playing cards and then of course in the later years then there come cinemas and all that caper, like, you know, you had all that, as they say, all the mod cons.
But it was never a case of at any stage you felt you would have felt lonely, or you thought, why am I doing this, or?
No. Times you get fed up, like if it wasn't a good job, like wasn't much overtime, you would think you should have stayed at home, like, but that's the way life goes.
Yeah, but looking back at it, you're glad that that's what you did.
Oh, it was very good. It's great. It's a great experience, like.
But if you hadn't if you hadn't spent a life at sea, what do you think you would have been working at? What else do you think you would have done?
Oh, it would have been fishing early, like, you know.
So it would have been sea anyway.
Yeah, that's all there is. Like in this area, it's different now. Then they're going to university and they're big jobs, like. But at that time there was nothing here, like, other than fishing.
Well, what about here now and going into the future? I mean, do you see a future for local people from, say, Donegal and Inishowen, whatever, for going to sea or going to fishing or going to sea? Is there a future for them in that?
There is, but they're not as many at it now. Like, you know, I remember going away on the 28th of August. And I was getting the bus up here, and the conductor at that time, like Eric, says to me, "You're late." I says, "What do you mean I'm late?" He says, "There was 22 went yesterday." Now, and that was all seamen, like, because at that time everybody went to sea. As I say, there was nothing else or fishing, but then they knew when the winter come, like, the fishing was out too because there were no big boats on then, like. So that was 22 in one day.
And what year roughly would that have been?
That'll be about 58, 60. There is young people going to sea now, like, but they're better equipped than we were. Like, you know, they're some engineers now and apprentice officers, like, you know.
And what about people from around making livings in other ways from the sea, you know, in terms of, say, I don't know, marine tourism or engineering or things? Are there other options, do you think, or other ways that people have here now of making a living?
Well, there's I suppose in tourism there's quite a bit, but again, it's not going back then too, for angling. For tourism there, you would have hundreds actually of people coming for the angling festival, but that seems to have died away. And with the salmon fishing, you see, from small boys up, the small boys was sent with the water bottles to fill the water and for the boats and help to get out in the nets. And they worked their way up. Nowadays, there's none of that at all. Since the salmon fishing stopped. There's not the same crowd when they were doing that, working the pier and getting a few bob. Then they graduated onto the fishing boats, but now there's nothing there for them.
And because that's not there, there's not that progression for them. There's many going.
No, not local. There's still plenty going, but and even the boys that's fishing now, a lot of them is foreigners, and we have a lot of Filipinos and Africans, even Americans. That's in the fishing industry now. It's not, but they're not the local.
And do you think it's because the locals, some of them, there aren't enough of them interested in it, or they find it's too hard, or?
No, I think it's just that there's no jobs for them there now. Everything gets much more complicated. The type of fishing boats and all. You need to learn what you're doing. Or when we were running about, you didn't need any qualifications or nothing. You could done there. If you could work, you could the job. But now you need to, because there's a lot of machinery and that's the way life changes.
But if you were starting off now, what would you do? Do you think you still do it?
Oh, would I? I kind of think of a better way of doing it.